Okay, just wanted to do a quick Lego haul. I wouldn't even call it a haul. It's not like I got like a bunch of stuff, but there's a recent, let's see, Juneteenth, June 19th, uh, which is today, and I think it's going on for a few more days. I forget the exact end date, sorry, but maybe it's the 23rd or 5th. Anyways, I figured just had some time off from work, and there's some things that came up that were 2 times VIP points, and I figured there's some few things that I had in mind that I might want to get, and this was one of them, obviously. But I had a couple other ones in mind. But and I wanted to do the promotion, which was the gift for purchase for 150 bucks. And if it just falls 1 cent under, which this one did, 149.99, it still counts. But one penny less, 149.98 somehow, you get something, a mix of stuff that are, you know, less expensive to add up to just under that, then you won't get it. So this is my chance to get this in this with a minimal amount because I don't want to go crazy just yet. But the way I wanted to decide on what I'm going to get was one, whether it's been on sale, has been on sale, or is currently on sale, then I probably will just not try to do the VIP points with those because then I can get that certain sets cheaper, such as the micro MIDI scale 8 AT-AT, which is pretty cool. It's about, I think, $65, but Target's had a recent sale for 20% off, so it's about $51.99, something like that, and Amazon just usually matches that. So I still have seen that hold that general $50 range for the AT-AT, so I wasn't going to shoot for that. I was also thinking about things that are on sale, then haven't been, then I'm gonna do it. Which one is this? I've not seen it. Maybe it's still relatively new, and perhaps later this year. But I have the original earlier place scale one, not the UCS. That's just too big. But the original one, which I held off for the longest time to build, and I finally built it, and it's cool. And it is, as you might know, it's larger than this, and there's a couple other features that make it somewhat better. I mean, there's definitely more playability inside of the old one because they have like just more space, and there's just things inside that you can kind of use more. There's beds, and I don't know, when you open these up, there's not really anything you can do, like no like extra sleeping quarters that you can. There's some things there, but not much, and definitely it's completely basically empty in the back, whereas the old one had like at least a couple of carbonite bounties in there. And yeah, this, they both have their merits, but ultimately this does clean it up a lot more, even though it's a bit more compact. But I do like how they clean up the engines, especially the front, because the old ones were made out of multiple separate pieces that angled in to form a round thing. I guess these pieces didn't exist back then, whenever that set originally came out, and even later on with the UCS when they managed to fix that. But anyways, I only want to keep one, and I'll probably do this one. But my idea originally was thinking, well, why can't I combine both of them to make like the best version, like maybe the general size and at least the playability of the interior space with the and all that stuff, and maybe just retrofit that one with some of the cleaner parts up front here, and especially with the engines. It doesn't have the escape pod though, like the other one did, which was kind of cool. But you never really saw them use it, but it was a cool feature nonetheless. I just know these should have like red lights in them. I have to add some red studs for that. Anyways, so I was thinking of combining the two and maybe forming one ultimate set, and that combines the both of them. Clean looks of this one with a little bit larger scale and more playability on, at least in the main hull of the ship. Which took me some time to figure out what I can mix and match really. But I saw a pretty nice thing on Rebreakable. I forgot who it was by, but they did some nice enhancement to even the engines. I can't remember much in front, but they did manage to make it a little bit longer and maybe add some features on the inside. But I do like how they managed to make the landing gears retractable like this, like the previous one. These are basically like little skid plates that just permanently hang on the outside, or maybe you can pull them out, but it's not as practical to have to pull and just kind of find some place to put those things away while you leave this in a flight display stand. It'd be nice if you can just tuck them in, and there's a mod that I saw that allows for that, so I may try that. And so yeah, that's how I decided on this. I also wanted to use the MIDI scale Venator, but again, it's not been on sale, and I was going to do that and maybe do K2SO, or I was thinking about Chopper, but then I know Chopper's been on sale on Amazon for a while, so you don't have to pay the full $100. I think it's about $79 or so. So I was like, no. So yeah, back and forth. Ultimately, I said, you know what, this seems like about something I like to build and mod to make the best version of, and then I'll get rid of the one that I have, the original one. Either I can use it to upgrade this or vice versa, or either way, one of them is just going to exist, and it's basically going to be this version of the newest version from the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I think I like the pop of yellow, and again, overall it's more cleaned up. The fact that there's not usable space inside, in terms of like play features, it's not a big deal, because overall this is like many of my Legos, they're going to be on display. So yeah, that's that. And I wanted to get like the newer version of Mando and Grogu. He's got the new body mode, which is much better. Looks much more like it, not just like a baby body, like Lego baby body that's in the colors of his robes. But this actually has the right shape to the the collar around the neck and all that. This looks like the robe, and he's got the shield thing, the Mandalorian crest with or rather the Mudhorn, right? Because he's part of Din Djarin's, I guess, family now. That's his sign or signet, or whatever it's called. It represents his, I guess, his clan or family. And this is the upgraded version, or at least the most detailed version of the current of Mando, with additional painting on the front. It definitely has the arm prints, and even like the boots, or the toes at least. And you get Zeb, which is cool. I think that's great, because I never got him from I don't believe, I have the Ghost, but it was the second Ghost that they did, that is actually more from Ahsoka, so it didn't have the original crew. But I do think overall that new Ghost is better. But I didn't have Zeb. Colonel Ward, this new figure, which is cool. Nothing particularly exciting about her, to be honest, but you got her in. You got a Stormtrooper. Again, nothing all that special. It's mainly for 3-3, I think. I mean, this is completely extra. She's kind of a bonus, at least something new. But these are pretty cool. I mean, they did Zeb really nicely painted. Anyways, that's what I got today. And with that, let's get the gift purchase. What is this? Tribute to Leonardo da Vinci. Let's zoom up. I got a little bit more space now to do this, because that box is huge and I can only pull the camera stand holder back so far. And so you got Leonardo painting, and you got this is a nice little like workshop. You got a small version of the flying machine, which is actually, since that was on sale at Target as well, from 50-ish, right, down to 40. It's like, I always kind of wanted this, because it's not Star Wars, neither of these are, but that was besides the point. But out of all the Renaissance artists, Leonardo was probably my favorite. Just his drawing, illustrative style, really detailed, and especially he's an inventor, or at least he thought about inventions and stuff. And this is one of his famous ones. That's this flying machine. And I figured, yeah, what the heck? Since this promotion was out, it just makes sense to just kind of pair it with this. And you got in his other attire here, but yeah, and this flies, or at least has some motion of flight. What do you call this? An orthopter. It's a bit of a tongue twister. It's kind of like the same word that they use for the dragonfly looking fly machine in the most recent Dune movie series, right? That just came out, ornithopter, something like that. I guess it has to do with flapping wings instead of like a helicopter, which is spinning wings. But yeah, I thought this was kind of cool, just to celebrate this one of the very famous and fairly influential, I think, Renaissance artist and thinker and inventor of the time. And so yeah, for $40, what the heck? And then I can, when I get around to it, with both of those, I can put this up, and then you got, kind of the rest of this, some of it. He's got so much more to him than just kind of the few things that they represented in here. I'm not sure what the cat has to do with it. I gotta look that up right there. But you got, of course, the Mona Lisa, very, very, very famous painting. And I think there's some other invention here, unless it's the same thing as the flying machine, which, let's see here, it potentially could be. Is that one of the wings? I don't know. He developed several. He made some of the first, like a lot of, I would say, even war machines. I think there's something where you, like something that a cannon, or maybe there's something that launches a bunch of like fiery arrows or something like that. I could have sworn he had like some illustrations of, machines of war, basically, and then he's also had this other. I think there's another flying machine that's got this kind of spiral-looking thing. It's like kind of like a helicopter, but it's not like traditional with these blades. It has like this corkscrew-looking thing. I guess it's supposed to, if that spins fast enough, I guess it'll lift the machine up. I vaguely recall there being an illustration like that, but anyways, this is kind of cool. Nothing crazy, but I guess he can actually use the flying machine for himself. This you ever watch Voyager? There was one episode, at least one, like Captain Janeway would, I think it's through the holodeck, right? She'd go visit and just kind of converse with Leonardo da Vinci, who was played by what's his name? Something, just David Reese Ramsey or something like that. The guy that that was in all the indie movies. His name was it Salah something, right? The guy in Egypt. You know what I'm talking about. He's been in a lot of movies and stuff, and TV. But he played Leonardo in Voyager, and there was a scene I remember. He finally took his flying machine to escape. I think he was being persecuted or something. I forget the exact story of that particular episode, but then they escaped on his flying machine, which I think they didn't believe it would actually work, but it did. But it actually looked more like, it wasn't like a wing pack. It was more like the flying machine that we saw in the other set, where you can sit people in it. But anyways, yeah. So that's basically it. Just this, the flying machine, just to pair with this. I think this would be kind of cool to have together. I always wanted it's too late when I found out. I wouldn't say I always, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool. The Jules Verne one. I think there's a tribute to Jules Verne. And there's a lot of different artists or authors that they've done. But the one for Jules Verne would be cool, because he's kind of like the old school, or maybe the original, like one of the original, like, science fiction writers. There's so much cool stories. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He didn't do War of the Worlds, I don't think. Is that by Orson Welles? I know he narrated it. I should know who did War of the Worlds, but anyways, there are other things that are in Jules Verne's writing that's pretty cool. Like basically a lot of science fiction-y things. And I think that would have been cool if they paired that with. Did they ever make a Nautilus? I think they may have, but I know I've seen something like that on AliExpress. Maybe it's a copy of one of the ones that they did, but that would have been cool to have too. I don't know. I mean, I have to look that up. Maybe I can get a cheap copy of that and, complete these kind of like artistic series, I guess. And that's it. So, just wanted to share that for now. I guess whenever I get to it, I will unbox, or rather build these things out and share them and I can. Right, thanks, bye.